Hey guys, welcome back to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be watching the 1958 comedy, The Perfect Furlough. This movie is directed by Blake Edwards. You may know him from the Pink Panther series with Peter Sellers, as well as Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yeah, he's a good director. And also married to Julie Andrews. I forgot about that. Perfect Furlough is about a military corporal winning the lottery and taking a 3-week sabbatical to Paris, France. It stars Tony Curtis, Janet Leigh, and it also features Elaine Strange, which is a nice pull if you're a Sondheim fan or a 30 Rock fan. Yeah, I figured, why not try a comedy?
I'm
trying to remember if I've seen a good relationship in a Tarkovsky movie.
Blake Edwards was one of the first people I thought about. And if you like these videos, please click the like button. It really helps out small content creators like myself. Not that I'm like physically small, but I am. I'm very small online. Tony Curtis, you might know from Some Like It Hot, Janet Leigh, obviously from Psycho. Elaine Stritch from Company.
Sir, the psychologists are here.
Send them in.
Yes, sir.
Already hamming it up in the acting.
Sit down, gentlemen.
Ooh, there we go. Yes. Come help me out here for a sec. Is that a woman? Ooh, Janet Leigh looking fresh.
I'll be brief and to the point. The Army has a personnel problem. This is the North Polar region. Somewhere in this vast...
That's an interesting map setup. That's more accurate than the whatever model that we use in public schools.
These men are all hand-picked, all specially trained, and all bachelors.
Oh boy.
Bachelors, Colonel? The Army thought that bachelors were easier than married men.
Okay.
Gentlemen, the Army was wrong.
Married men probably have an easier time.
You see, we have done everything that it is humanly possible for us to do for them. We even went so far as to send them a gross of do-it-yourself kits. But, well, the men just don't seem to be interested in doing it themselves.
Fairly obvious, Colonel. What these need is...
It's a good joke. I gotta say.
This is not... I was going to suggest furloughs.
I suggest that we let the men at the base decide what they would consider the perfect furlough, and then select one man to go on it. They will all live vicariously in his experience.
What is your research to back that up?
It might work.
We got a full-ass thing in here. You gotta watch out for aliens. There's our boy, Tony Curtis. Huh, I wonder what could be on their minds. The beard looks good on Curtis, I gotta say. Usually he looks a little too fresh-faced for me.
What time is it?
April. Another great Tony Curtis movie is Sweet Smell Success.
Do you believe in capital punishment?
Why?
A man has just been sentenced to death.
Definitely a movie for you to check out if you've never seen it before. How to communicate by mental telepathy. That was a heavily telegraphed punch. This is also a great quarantine selection. It's basically what all of America is enduring right now.
Oh, Harvey, that is not fair. You know I would do anything for the boys. I am as patriotic
Marilyn
as
Monroe.
I am so tired.
And so are those boys up at that base. Those boys up there are freezing. They're freezing. This is your chance to show them some gratitude.
I would never deny that Blake Edwards is a comedy master, but his pacing is definitely a little bit slower than we're accustomed to.
Sandra, I gave you that. My own dear departed wife's name.
Jesus.
Who's afraid to lose? You are. Oh, yeah? Yeah. I come from a long line of losers. My father still votes prohibitionist. Jack.
She draws the number. Here it is. Number 14.
Real moment of realization. Yep. Cause I got a golden ticket. I got a golden chance to make my way.
You're in no condition to go to Paris.
Who isn't?
You're not. Look at yourself.
That was a good sight gag.
You represent 104 men. You're
Look at those baby blues. Tony Curtis is as smooth as butter. I wonder why we don't talk about him more often. I mean, it's a long list of actors that are incredibly talented that we don't really talk about. But he has a lot of charisma, I have to say.
This Corporal Hodges. Did it ever occur to either one of you to read his personnel file? Women, Lieutenant. The Corporal likes them. And they like him. Up to now, the Army has preferred this type of arrangement. But not to the extent that Corporal Hodges
Did you just make a gay joke?
He was assigned to drive one of the girls by jeep from Seoul to Yeongdong-po. It took them 6 days.
How far was it?
3 miles. And here,
I'd rather hope that she wouldn't give him a second thought.
I'm not concerned about her second thought. It's the first one that worries me.
It's very interesting seeing Janet Leigh kind of take an approach on, a comedic film. Obviously, I haven't seen her that many things, and she's playing the straight character, so it doesn't really depend that much on her comedic timing, but it's an interesting role for her to play. Well, they have it now. Fix your collar, Corporal. Jesus.
Seems cooperative enough.
Yes, he does.
And quite sincere.
I noticed that.
You trust him?
No.
Neither do I.
That was the first line of this movie, who's kind of a comedic timing I agree with.
I also play nursemaid and mother confessor.
I was about to say, this actress looks a lot like Elaine Stritch. I'm pretty sure that's because it is Elaine Stritch.
Speaking for Sandra, I think you'd better start brushing up on saying no.
Speaking for Sandra, I don't know how long I can hold out.
Oh, God,
it's a little weird that Tony Curtis is once again doing one of these kind of I don't know how to describe it. He's also doing he's doing another transportation compartment scene in this, because he did the same thing in Some Like It Hot, right? I haven't seen Some Like It Hot in maybe a decade and a half, but I'm pretty sure he had his makeout scene with Marilyn Monroe happened in the train car, didn't it?
Could I take another crack at it?
All right, if you insist.
Her bare thigh and all. Oh.
Yes.
Why is his collar always messed up? Tony, we gotta work on that. Tony's a bit of a shorty.
And how long do I have the pleasure of this honor guard?
as long as you're in Paris.
Money. That's an annual. Used to belong to my grandma. My grandfather took it and made it into a money cup. I better check the springs. Make up a little loose. Oh, why don't we have a little talk?
This a bribe?
No, I wouldn't bribe you fellas.
She said he'd try something like this.
He's smooth as shit. Jesus. He's got a nice, like, you know, Jewish leading man cad kind of energy. It's hard to believe this was came out the same year as Vertigo. I know, you know, different films have different production aims, goals, timelines, but it's just a weird thought. Same year as Vertigo. The same year as Ashes and Diamonds.
Thank you, Major.
Are you having fun, Paul?
Yes.
A lot of short hairstyles on the women in this movie.
Lieutenant, as a psychologist to a patient, what's wrong with me?
How'd she know? You haven't had a session with her.
Well enough to say.
Yeah,
Well, I do
that's a
know
good
there's something
answer.
wrong with me. For an example, here I am, a grown man, and I still like women.
There's
What is that meant to
nothing abnormal
suggest?
about a man liking women, but there is a limit.
Look at her
You do have to catch the limit
cheekbones.
to throw the next one
Wow.
back. And I'm being very serious. You've studied the subject. You're very objective about it.
Has she? She hasn't said what her focus is in. Is this dude gonna end up getting laid?
So sweet. Spending your whole evening writing.
I have like literally never in my life seen Elaine Stritch be like of medium or above average height. I have no idea. I have such a hard time clocking how tall Janet Leigh is in relation to the other actors. I'm like trying to figure out how tall she was in like medium shots with Psycho opposite Anthony Perkins. This movie is like completely throwing my sense of actors' heights out of whack.
Paul is coming down with some champagne.
Okay.
Oh, glad I stopped by.
Yeah, see. There's the rope. You don't show a veranda without showing a rope escape. I mean, we can see Janet. How do they rig that?
May I? Oh, now.
That's a nice bathroom.
Careful, sir.
Is he gonna trip backwards now? There it is. There's the
Excuse
second
me,
fall.
sir. Are you alone? I mean, is Lieutenant Lawrence still there?
That
No, she
pillow
has gone.
looks
She said you were
terrible.
not coming and... Oh, but I am. You are?
I wonder if this is a feature of
From the window, you can see the river Seine.
there's Jerry Orbach again.
I'm Bush. Let's get some shut-eye.
Americans in
I
Paris,
hope you will enjoy your
as
stay with us.
always.
I'm sure we will.
If there is anything I can do,
You can put a new bulb in here.
It's always strange to see like Americans represent themselves as poor tourists and poor visitors in foreign countries.
qu'est-ce que tu fais?
What are you doing?
Remplacer ton poule. Oui. Ah, la fenêtre. L'ampoule. Non! Viens ici.
Come here.
L'ampoule, idiot. L'ampoule, idiot.
You should be able to tell by his accent that he doesn't speak French.
No! L'ampoule.
For some reason, if you add French to anything, it'll make it funnier. I wasn't really clicking with any of the comedy specifically in this movie, but a comedy of error, a comedy of language barriers, that'll get me.
Good morning, Corporal.
Morning, Warden.
That was awful.
Today.
That's really bad.
Lieutenant, for 2 weeks I've been hounded,
Nice.
Trail.
Nice.
Pushed around
Okay,
by those
not great.
leftover-
Paris is such a lovely city, and I am interested in seeing it. But not at the end of a leash.
Emily in Paris.
Go for a walk by myself.
If you're interested, yes, I will agree to put on one of Emily's coats on Tony Curtis for every single scene.
Afternoon. Begging your pardon, Lieutenant.
Yes.
I think you just goofed.
He's just going for a walk for 2 hours. What can happen in 2 hours?
In Paris?
Here.
Heck, you could have a pretty good time in Dallas with all that. It's a line from Dr. Strangelove.
Voir s'il y a un soldat à l'intérieur.
Soldat? Pourquoi?
Je sais pas, peut-être elle aime les soldats.
Bon.
Maybe she loves him. Okay.
No.
Oh, thank you.
He's sly. I'll give you that. He is sly. That's too much money.
Non mais tu te fous de moi, lui, il est sur ma-
Well, hi.
Yo, Elaine Stritch has taken an angle with that seat.
No, Paul, no.
Why not?
I can't.
Why can't you?
These angles are rough on the ladies. Why do they do this?
I mean, I'm married.
Yep, that'll definitely stop him flat on his feet.
You are angry, aren't you?
No.
No. I respect this other man's ownership of you.
May your marriage defy time and Mr. Frank.
This is a swift-faced turn on the part of Tony Curtis.
Liz, aren't you even a little
I'm
concerned?
always shocked at the ratio of Janet Leigh's waist to her bust.
There's nothing I could have done about it anyhow.
Shocked.
You wanted to go. Lieutenant admitted the guy bugs you.
As far as I'm concerned, a bug is something you find crawling in your bed.
Exactly.
I rest my case.
I wonder where they shot some of these, like, outside locations. Because if they didn't want to budget for going to France proper, I don't know. I don't know where they'd find these locations.
We ran out of gas.
I mean, I guess this is still California. They need to get it like a marketing manager there. The branding of their corporate logo is terrible.
He says to be friends with a beautiful girl is just like owning a Rembrandt and turning it against the wall.
Shit, Tony Curtis does not know how to run. He's so drunk.
What happened?
Look how tall Wade stretches. How short is Tony Curtis? I mean, I assume she's wearing heels, but
We had a nice, long, friendly
he's saying this as though this was some sort of like moral imperative for him, as opposed to a sudden face turn he took because she revealed that she has a husband.
You've passed judgment and nothing's going to change your mind.
And once again, his collar is out of whack.
He walked up there very quietly.
Et puis, dans les vignes, j'entends quelqu'un qui appelle. Hey, Armand!
Someone in the vineyard.
And he's gonna knock her over with the basket.
Je me retourne.
Yo, it's kind of hard not to see these setups from a mile away. I'm happy to see how game Janet Leigh is, though. I won't say she's the funniest actress I've ever seen, but she is very game. Like a good Saturday Night Live host. Probably not entirely equipped for with a lifetime of experience for comedy, but willing to learn. Why were people so why were people so scandalized by Psycho? She's showing more skin in this. Tony Curtis genuinely has like funny bones spread throughout his body. This is just like, what can I say? He gets me. He has like a sense of humor that definitely appeals to me. It's so weird that this movie's kind of filled with like actors like doing like canned comedy acting, like doing the best they can with like a stock version of comedy. But then there's Tony Curtis doing this weird shit with wearing a curtain over his head. It seems like a clear expression of his particular sense of humor. How big are her?
What do you think?
She's got bazongas. I can't believe. I thought it was just like the bras of the era is kind of pumping her up, but my God. It is funny to like imagine if her gender happened to be swapped, how absurd the circumstances of this movie would be.
Lieutenant, dinner's ready.
I'm just imagining the version of this movie where, you know, she just didn't happen to be a girl, if she just happened to be the other major or a lieutenant or whatever, and they just fell in love in the exact same circumstances. That'd be a fun movie too, and equally absurd as this.
He says he likes her better than the first one.
C'est une femme bien plus propre.
That's because he's
She is a
racist.
cleaner woman.
Oh my God! Just imagine this scene with Les Tremaine, with whoever was the other colonel.
And it shakes a girl up.
Tony Curtis looks so tired in this shot.
You're all tied up.
Kinky.
Nothing will tie you up quicker than KP.
Kitty.
I had a buddy in my outfit who used to do the same for me.
See? Just imagine that these are two guys.
He says there's nothing to worry about. She's a healthy woman.
She will have a fine baby.
She will have a fine...
Oops.
Oh, would you hold on there?
Okay. That
sure you haven't
that was a
made a
good
mistake?
reading.
It isn't I who have made the mistake.
I'll be right with you, Mr. Franklin.
Where's Corporal Hodges?
I think that's an arbitrary and unfair accusation, sir.
It really is. If they've had sex once, there's no way she'd be pregnant by this point.
Well, sir, Sandra is going to have a baby.
Just do what any good Hollywood producer would do.
Secret, but
You mean you know?
everything.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Did Paul
What
tell
a
you?
Does Paul know?
oh Jesus. What strange like miscommunication, like
When I explained him the situation, I
getting their
was scared.
lines
I thought he was going to be very
getting their
upset.
lines crossed.
Not the sort of
I've like literally never seen I can't even think like count on one hand like good examples of this where it didn't seem completely like contrived and like unbelievable. And the closest I could get to it being like actually clever and not so ham-fisted is definitely the scene in Arrested Development where Michael is talking with Maybe about how their how their mutual dates had abandoned them, and neither knew that the other was talking about a completely different person because they're just so like self-absorbed and conceited they would have no idea that the other would be talking about anything other than their own problems. Anyway,
Corporal marries glamorous movie queen. Why, the public will eat it up.
so nobody in this movie understands how long it takes to actually be able to confirm a woman's pregnancy.
But the way I'll manage it, there'll be more publicity than if they had been married in Notre Dame Cathedral.
Well, they can't do that anymore. Everybody in this movie is just terrible at darts.
Hello?
65 on like 6 darts is kind of terrible. Oh god. Vertigo.
He says that 60 years ago he too chased a woman down this very same street.
Oh wow, it's a Love Actually.
Did he catch her? How do you think I was born?
Ew. Do they like just like turn the whole backlot into this like Backstreets of Paris setup? Wine spillage. Just explain it to her. Just explain to her that fetuses don't gestate that quickly.
I am not the father of that baby.
Sure. See,
I'll have what
didn't I
she's
tell you
having.
The wildest things went on in Paris. Well, I certainly hope so.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Tu parles avec lieutenant Laurent? Est-ce que tu parles avec monsieur Roger? Il est sauté dans l'auto. Elle lui dit qu'elle va voir un baby.
Oh, with the twists and turns this movie's taking. It's the Grand Budapest scene, the calling of all the members of the Keys or whatever. Both of them, yep. Both of them. Is that going to ruin his reputation so he can't marry Miss Rook anymore? Slick camera work by Edwards, by the way.
Another scotch.
How much money does this dude have?
Cannot accept your money.
Play his drink for free. Wow, I wish. What a world.
I've always said this is what happens when you got women in an army.
Oh wow.
Listen to this confounded idea.
Hot take. He'd do well in 2020 Twitter. Rebel. We must have a rebel ending. Rebel.
What do you want?
Corporal Hodges is in his quarters, isn't he?
No, sir. That's what I was coming to report.
What?
Rebel.
He's loose in Paris? Well,
everybody's loose in Paris.
don't
Oh,
just stand there,
that's a good
find
line
him.
too.
Don't just
Slick.
stand there, find him. I want him here when I get back.
Was she corpsing?
Don't just stand there, find him.
Please.
Mais je ne comprends rien. Quelque chose est arrivé.
What am I supposed to do?
Rebel.
Monsieur, I didn't order this. Compliments of that gentleman.
It's attracting quite an audience.
Who is he? The house detective.
The great house detective.
Who's Fred?
Fred Sloan, he works for you in the accounting department.
Not anymore, he doesn't. Nobody works for me. Who stabs me in the back? How can
That was
you
a
do this to me after
that was
all
a
the
great
things that
seat
have
rise,
done
I have
for
to say.
Here we go.
Who discovered you on the pampas
He
riding on a
leviated
jackass?
very nicely.
You.
I'm happy. I'm glad you're
My
married.
big takeaway from this movie is Elaine Stritch is was a tall-ass biatch.
Now, you don't want Fred to be in the accounting department all his life, do you? Sandra, I'll make him a producer.
I wanna be a producer.
Colonel, I was stupid to lie to you. I was
What was her lie?
Get him. Stop him. Hurry up. Don't let him get away again.
Naturally, I'll resign from the service anyway, but I'd like to think it was because I was getting married.
What?
Suppose Corporal Hodges denies the whole thing.
Don't worry.
Slick.
You're,
That was slick.
Pretty sneaky, Lieutenant.
Like you said, the guy bugs me.
Oh, God.
You know I'm going to get this marriage annulled.
He's... He did not consent to any of this. You can't annul a marriage after 40 years.
Man, what a time we must be having.
Think that crazy-looking lieutenant. Wow, what a power.
If only he knew that 40 men would be masturbating to him and his wife. What an end to a movie. Okay. Well, that was a harmless lark. Yeah, very, very kind of like light and airy. I didn't quite agree with all of the with the specific timing that Blake Edwards had for his humor, but you know, it's from a different era. What the hell do I know? He's Blake Edwards. He made Victor Victoria. What am I supposed to say to that? I liked the leads in this. I think Elaine Stritch was wonderfully deadpan and very dry in her delivery. I thought that Janet Leigh was pretty good, but you know, you're gonna be biased saying that when you're like looking at a drop dead gorgeous movie star. So, and yeah. I already knew this from Some Like It Hot, but, you know, Tony Curtis is like a genuine comedic actor with dramatic chops, and he proved to be kind of like witty and attractive and sly and impish and peculiar in this role. And it was a really good look on him. You can definitely see what Billy Wilder saw in him for Some Like It Hot the next year. So yeah, that was a Perfect Furlough. I'm guessing not many of you have seen it, but if you have, leave a comment down below with your favorite part of the movie, and subscribe if you haven't before. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Yeah, this is a fun little ditty. I don't usually do comedies on this channel, but every once in a while, who's it hurting? Anyways, until the next time, keep watching good movies. Take care.